With the 16th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Zach Martin, guard, Notre Dame.
Hello and welcome to Cowboys Draft Live. That was, about an hour or so ago, hour and a half really, when the Cowboys selected offensive lineman Zach Martin from Notre Dame with the 16th overall pick in the 2014 draft. What does this mean for the team? Well, here to help me discuss that and much more is former NFL scout and current DallasCowboys.com columnist Bryan Broaddus. I am Gina Miller. We are coming at you live from the Dallas Cowboys locker room for the next 15 minutes or so with the most exclusive Cowboys coverage on television. So, Bryan, you and I've read some of your mock drafts. You had a couple of them on both DallasCowboys.com, and I'm sure you had many more in your notebooks that I know you do a lot of homework with. You were high on Zach Martin to begin. From all my homework I saw you had. You liked this guy, and tell me your thoughts on the pick overall.
Well, I think that when you talk about what they were doing at the time and looking at the board and the names that were on the board, at 16 you're a little bit at the mercy of the board. And as the names started coming off, sure, they wanted to look at some defensive linemen. They understand that they could have added some guys, but they stood right in there. They made the pick, and Zach Martin to me is an outstanding pick. We've talked about this pick for months, actually, though. It was the right way to go, in my opinion.
Okay, not going defense. We'll get into that in just a moment. But like I said, the Cowboys selected Zach Martin with the 16th overall pick in this year's draft. He's an offensive tackle from Notre Dame who really can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. From 2010 to 2013, he played 52 games for the Fighting Irish, mainly at left tackle, the most ever by an Irish offensive lineman. So just what kind of player is Zach Martin? Well, he's obviously versatile, but here's a little bit more about him in his own words.
I would describe myself as a consistent guy, someone who's consistent on the field, off the field. You're going to get someone who's the same guy every day, good teammate, who's going to be there for his teammates. A pretty simple guy, someone that, doesn't need a whole lot to make him happy, and someone they can count on.
Well, it's obvious the Cowboys are focused on protecting their quarterback, Bryan. This is the 3rd offensive lineman Dallas has taken in the last 4 drafts. Travis Frederick last year, Tyron Smith a few years back. Important considering Tony Romo's coming off 2 back surgeries.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you're talking about young offensive linemen, and that's the key right now. And when you're a running game, you've established a little bit. You got DeMarco Murray coming into his last year of his contract, protecting Tony Romo, the 2 back surgeries and all that, though. But it's young offensive linemen, and that's the most important thing, is that you try and build this, try and get these guys to stay together, and that's what they've done with this. And those guys tend to play 10, 12 years, and that's the most important thing, though. Get these guys, get them together, let them work together and gel, and then you have something, though, that you don't have to worry about, like I said, for 10 to 12 years.
And I go back to what we discussed earlier this evening, Bryan. You've got this core group of players, a Tyron Smith, a Travis Frederick, now a Zach Martin. It's a good group for years to come.
Oh, absolutely. That's the key. Build that, keep adding players, keep working with it, though. Bill Callahan, Frank Pollock have to be very happy about that.
Okay, still ahead here on Cowboys Draft Live. Just who would Bryan Broaddus compare Zach Martin to? We have the answer to that and much more when we come back.
Hey, Zach. This is Jerry Jones with the Cowboys, and we've just put your card in, just selected you to be a Cowboy.
Thank you very much.
So we're excited about that a lot. And
I am too, thank you.
And sure enjoyed our visit that we had, but this is a great day for you and for us as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to hand you over to Jason Garrett, our coach, head coach.
All right.
Zach.
Hey, Coach.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you.
I'm so excited.
Well, you're the kind of football player and kind of young man that we want on our team. So get ready to go to work.
I can't wait.
Okay?
Can't wait.
I'm going to hand the phone to Scott Linehan.
All right.
Okay? Congrats. It's a hell of a day for you and a hell of a day for us.
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
You excited?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I told you, I said, don't be surprised if you're coming back here.
I can't wait.
Oh, you're going to do great.
Thank you.
So we got...
That is the Dallas Cowboys talking to their newest player, one Zack Martin, earlier this evening, informing the young offensive lineman that he will, in fact, be coming to North Texas. Hello and welcome to Cowboys Draft Live. I am Gina Miller inside the Dallas Cowboys locker room alongside former NFL scout and current DallasCowboys.com columnist Brian Broaddus. How about that, Brian? Zack Martin, now a Dallas Cowboy.
Well, yeah, and that's the great thing about it, though, is to me, it's a guy that they really coveted. And you look at the offensive line, it's the building part of it. We've talked about that. You talked about the versatility he has. He could play tackle, he could play guard. Even Tom Siskowski, I talked to him earlier, they think he can maybe play center. So a very versatile football player.
And he's admitted that himself, that he's a guy who's comfortable really in any role on the offensive line. Who would you compare him to, though, so we can get sort of a relative idea of what this guy's like?
Yeah, I think that you have to talk about a guy like Chris Snee from the New York Giants. And it's the same type of a tough, mauler, brawler kind of guy. You know, a guy that's very athletic, can play on the second level, he could secure down blocks, he could get to the linebacker. Chris Snee has always been one of those guys to me. A lot of respect for him at the New York Giants and his ability. And I think that when you talk about Zack Martin, he's that same kind of player to me, that tough, athletic, but a little bit of a nasty streak to him as well.
I want to go back to what happened earlier in the evening because we know the Cowboys were high on Ryan Shazier from Ohio State. Pittsburgh selected Shazier with the 15th pick. The Cowboys were there at 16. What do you think happened inside the war room? Because we saw the Cowboys take their full 10 minutes to decide to select Zack Martin.
Yeah, that's sometimes the unfortunate thing. I don't think there was anybody in that room that thought that Pittsburgh was going to take Ryan Shazier, even though Pittsburgh could have used a cornerback. If I was in that war room as the pro personnel guy, I would have talked about cornerback the whole entire time. But Ryan Shazier, yes, he's the linebacker as far as the speed he has. He'll fit in very well with Dick LeBeau's scheme, playing in that 3-4, running the football. He did that at Ohio State. He'll be able to do it in Pittsburgh as well.
So you mentioned defense, Brian, and we know that coming into the draft, what was the number one need that the Dallas Cowboys had? Defense, defense, and then I'd go so far as to say more defense. Will the defense be addressed tomorrow and on Saturday? I mean, this isn't panic mode now, is it? Because the Cowboys didn't select a defensive player at 16.
Oh, not at all. No panic mode at all. And to me, it's, you know, I was prepared as I was studying this draft since January, basically. If you took an offensive player first, and it could have been a wide receiver, you could have taken a quarterback, you could have taken an offensive line, any one of those positions. But in this draft, second, third, fourth, fifth round, there's going to be some value. This thing is going to stretch for the defense, so don't panic if you're a Cowboy fan. There's defensive players out there to be had.
You really can build your team with those guys that you pick up in the late round. I saw you had Odell Beckham out of LSU at 16 there, Brian. I saw that. I read your mock.
I was trying, you know. I mean, again, I'm trying to get as many LSU guys as I can on this team. But yeah, he would have been outstanding, but he went a lot earlier to the Giants.
No bias from the former LSU Tiger. Much more still ahead here on Cowboys Draft Live. When we come back, we're going to head back to AT&T Stadium, hear what the fans think about the Cowboys selecting Zack Martin. Did they want Johnny Manziel? Find out when we come back. Back after this local break in a few minutes. Welcome back to Cowboys Draft live from the Dallas Cowboys locker room. Brian Broaddus and Gina Miller here. You know, the NFL draft, the first round, is almost over. The final pick is being submitted as we speak. And we know that the Cowboys, or the NFL rather, postponed the draft for another 2 weeks, Brian, because there was a scheduling conflict at Radio City Music Hall, and it led so many people to put out 17 versions of their mock drafts, almost leading to overanalyzation or overanalysis of this 2014 draft.
Yeah, and that's the problem. As a scout, you know, I would have been ready to draft on the April 26th when it started. I mean, we keep stretching this, and there's a lot of times, you know, where the league does this and they don't think about what's really going on at the club level, and they make decisions. And again, this is a personal thing with me, you know. New York decisions made, throw it to the clubs, here we go, deal with it, you know. And I think that's really unfair. The scouts have been on the road 200 days this year. You know, you're cutting into vacation time. Now you have OTAs, all these things. There's really about a month off before we start this up again.
Well, and it also makes everyone a quote-unquote expert. Lindsey Cash talked to a number of those experts at the Dallas Cowboys official draft party at AT&T Stadium. Here is what Cowboys fans had to say about what the team decided to do in the draft.
Thanks, Gina. The best way I can sum up our night here at AT&T Stadium would be built-up anticipation. The pick is done. It's Zack Martin. Let's get some initial reaction from people who were here at the party. Guys, what did you think when they called his name?
Well, thanks to Facebook, my uncle told me it wasn't going to be Johnny Football, so I was like, oh, okay. But I had a great time. Go Cowboys.
Always a good fan. Okay, what about you? What'd you think?
I'm an Aggie fan, so I was going for Johnny Football. I mean, I think he did a bad mistake by not picking Johnny Football. We know we need a new quarterback, and I mean, Johnny was a guy. I don't know.
I like all the good, strong opinions. Did you have fun tonight?
Yes, I really did have a great time here at AT&T Stadium. It rocked out completely, and this was my first year. I wish they would have selected Johnny Manziel, but they selected either a tackle or something. So.
Well, it's good. You know what? We're expecting production from that. Anybody else? You guys have reactions from the game?
I'm thrilled with the pick. I actually believe in Romo. I think he can get it done. We built the offensive line up. Now we just got to go grab some defensive players. And this kind of shows that Jerry kind of stepped back a little bit. And I like that.
Awesome. Okay, I said reaction from the game. It felt like a game. I meant tonight at the party. Thanks, guys. Back to you, Gina and Brian.
Thank you so much, Lindsey. Everyone is an expert. Of course, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. I love the one fan, though, who wished the Cowboys had selected Johnny Manziel. Cleveland took Johnny Manziel at 22. I think the headline's going to be Cowboys passing on Manziel, not so much Cowboys selecting Martin.
Yeah, you know, and I think this is really unfortunate. And Jerry Jones made it very clear when he met with the media that, you know, that we kept asking, prying to try and get him to say, yes, I'll take Johnny Manziel. You know, even though they had him there in the first round on their board, they had some other grades that were higher, Zack Martin being that guy. And, you know what, to me, they did the right thing there. Again, you create that firestorm, you bring him in here. Maybe they need to make this journey at some other point in time down the line. But right now, taking Zack Martin was the right thing to do.
And we heard Jerry say, and Steven and Jason talk about value in that pre-draft press conference. And I think that's exactly what they got tonight in Zack Martin. We are coming back to wrap things up right after this. Where could Martin play, not this year, but in 2015? Brian and I discuss when we come back from this local break. Welcome back to Cowboys Draft Live. We are discussing Zack Martin and where he could play for the Dallas Cowboys on the offensive line. This year in 2014, guard seems like the perfect place. However, let's look into the future. 2015, when Doug Free's status becomes a little more uncertain, could he move out to tackle?
No, absolutely. You know, you talked about it earlier, though. He's played a lot of tackle in his day. So, yeah, I think you're going to put him on that right side, let him go, let him learn at the right guard, and then if you have to, shuffle him right back out on that right tackle spot. I think he'll be just fine.
We have 2 picks tomorrow for the Dallas Cowboys at 47 in the second round, 78 in the third round. What do you expect to see?
Timmy Jernigan. They're going to look for defensive linemen, probably help at the 3 and the 1 technique. Timmy Jernigan on the board from Florida State. You also got Dominic Easy from Florida. So right there, 2 defensive tackles.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us for Cowboys Draft Live. We are back tomorrow, 2 15-minute broadcasts with the most exclusive, in-depth Dallas Cowboys coverage on TV.